Electric current. In this chapter, we will come across different types of physical quantities like electric current, potential difference, resistance, etc. Whatever be the physical quantities, we have to focus on four aspects of each quantity. First one is regarding the definition of the particular quantity. We need to know how to define that quantity. Second one is regarding the equation. Each quantity can be expressed in relation with other quantities. So that is about equation. Now after the definition and equation, we need to know about the standard unit or SI unit of that particular quantity. And apart from that, we also need to study about the definition of that SI unit. And lastly, instruments associated with the measurement of the quantity. So these are the four things we should focus on. Electric current. We have heard of this term called current. Current basically means flow of anything. If I say about water current, it is the flow of water. Or in case of air current, it is the flow of air. And here we have electric current. So electric current is defined as the flow of charges. Charge means electric charges. There are two possibilities. Either it can be flow of positive or flow of negative charges. So the definition of electric current can be written as rate of flow of charges. The rate of means any quantity if we analyze it with respect to time. It is known as rate of. If you remember, last year we have studied the definition of speed, velocity, acceleration, etc. Speed is defined as rate of change of distance, that is distance divided by time. Similarly, velocity is rate of change of displacement, that is displacement divided by time, and acceleration is rate of change of velocity. So any quantity, if we analyze how it changes with respect to time, then we can introduce this term called rate of change. Here it is rate of flow of electric charge. That is how we define electric current. And we mainly associate this flow of current with respect to metallic wires. We know that metallic wires are good conductors of electricity. In case of metallic wires, electric current is mainly constituted by the flow of electrons rather than flow of protons. Because we know that most of the metals are characterized by the presence of free electrons, which means the electrons which are loosely bound to the nucleus of an atom. Those electrons find it easier to move rather than the movement of protons. But if we consider the case of electrolytes, that is, for example, in the case of brine solution or sodium chloride solution, both sodium cation and chloride ions can flow and result in the formation of current. Now, to understand more about electric current, let us consider a piece of wire. And let A be a particular area of cross section. And inside the wire we know there are a lot of free electrons. And the total number of free electrons we can denote it by capital letter Q. So Q is the amount of charge, and here the charge means the amount of free electrons. Now suppose that this Q amount of charge is going to flow through this particular area of cross section in 1 second. That is, these charges are going to flow through this cross section like this. And the time taken to pass through the cross section is 1 second. So electric current is nothing but a term used to denote this case. That is, I is equal to Q divided by T. Here capital letter I is the symbol for electric current. Q means the amount of charge that flowed through that particular area. And T is the time taken for that flow to occur. So this is the equation for electric current. Capital letter I is equal to Q divided by T. Or it is the amount of charge flowing through an area per unit time. Electric current is defined as the amount of charge flowing through an area per unit time. Now again, in the last video we have seen a relation for the net charge, that is Q is equal to NE. If I substitute that relation here, we'll get another expression, that is I is equal to NE by T. So you can remember these two equations for current. One is I is equal to Q by T and second one I is equal to Ne by T, where N is the number of electrons. Next is the SI unit of current. SI unit of current. So to write about any SI unit, first we need to write the equation of that particular quantity. And here we know I is given by Q by T. And we know the SI unit of charge and time. SI unit of charge is coulomb, time is second. So coulomb per second. Now this coulomb per second is shortly known as ampere, represented by capital letter A, which is named after the French scientist Henri-Marie Ampere. So SI unit of current can be told in two ways, either it is coulomb per second or ampere. Remember that ampere is equal to coulomb per second. Now this ampere is a quite large unit. So when coming to problem solving, we'll mostly come across smaller units of ampere like milliampere or microampere. Milliampere is equal to 10 raised to minus 3 ampere. Or in general, milli means 1 by 1000 of any quantity. We know milligram, which is 1 by 1000 of a gram, or millimeter, which is 1 by 1000 of a meter. Similarly, micro means it is 10 raised to minus 6 ampere. Next is about direction of electric current. Direction of electric current. This direction of electric current can be specified in two different ways. For that, first to consider a wire in which electron is flowing towards the right direction. In this case, we take the direction of current as opposite to the direction of flow of electron. That means current will flow towards left. Now in second case, consider a piece of wire and now suppose that a proton is flowing towards the right side. Here, the direction of current is taken same as that of the direction of flow of proton, that is towards right side. Conclusion is that direction of current can be specified in two different ways. First one is that direction of current is same as direction of flow of positive charge. And in case of negative charge, the direction is opposite to the direction of flow of negative charge or electron. Now let us see the definition of 1 ampere. To define 1 ampere, first we can write the equation concerned with 1 ampere. We know current is given by charge by time or Q by T. Now we can substitute the SI units for each terms. That is ampere is equal to coulomb per second. Now to define 1 ampere, just assign a 1 beside each of the SI unit. That is 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per 1 second. For the definition, just translate this expression into words. You will have the definition of 1 ampere. So if I translate that into words, let us write 1 ampere is defined as when 1 coulomb of charge flows through a particular area in 1 second, the current is said to be 1 ampere. And this definition is commonly asked in exam, so study it as such. If you are asked to define any physical quantity, just write the equation of that quantity first, then substitute the standard units and assign 1 to each of the quantity. And finally translate that equation into words. So you will have the definition. So even if you forget the definition, you can recollect it once you memorize the equation. Next, the instrument used to measure current is called ammeter. Ammeter is a device used to measure current in a circuit. Always ammeter is connected in series with the circuit. And the symbolic representation of ammeter is given by this. Now here the series connection means that suppose if I consider any two circuit elements A and B. These elements A and B are said to be connected in series if the same amount of current flows through each of them. That is, if I take a current I to flow through both A and B, then they can be told to be connected in series. So again, remember that ammeter is always connected in series with a circuit. Now different materials pass current at different rates through them. So depending on that, we can classify materials into three categories. First one is conductors. Conductors are materials which easily pass current through them. And most common examples for conductors are metals. And even in metals, we can say that gold, silver, copper are very good conductors of electricity. And even this copper wire is used for making electrical wires and all. Next is insulators. Insulators are materials that do not conduct electricity easily, or they do not allow the passage of current through them easily. And examples for insulators include non-metals. And among this non-metal also we have an exception, that is the allotrope of carbon, graphite. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Now other examples for insulators include wood, plastic, rubber, etc. And this rubber and plastic are most commonly used for electrical insulation. Now if you consider the case of water, pure or distilled water is an insulator because it does not contain any free ions or salts to conduct electricity. Whereas this tap water is considered to be a conductor. Tap water may contain different types of salts or other impurities which can easily pass current through them. Now apart from these conductors and insulators, we have a third category of materials that is called semiconductors. Semiconductors come in between conductors and insulators. They have medium conductivity. That means they do not conduct electricity as that of a conductor, but it will conduct more than that of an insulator. Common examples for semiconductor include germanium and silicon. So this is regarding the classification of materials with respect to the flow of current through them. So in this video we have learned about electric current, its definition, equation, and the SI unit of electric current and its definition, and finally the instrument used to measure electric current, that is ammeter, and about three materials, that is conductors, insulators and semiconductors.